I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast, everybody. I am Giulio Gallerati. I'm sitting with my old pal, Francis Ellis. Francis, how are you?
Buddy, old boy, old pal, old friend of mine.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I'm good. What's up?
Not much, man. Just, I'm excited about this. It's not a surprise this weekend, right?
The birthday?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So, France, just wanted to now I have to triple check. I was like positive that it wasn't, but can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have less to say, Francis? I was asking you yes or no questions.
No, yeah. All good.
So Francis is throwing his girl a 30th birthday party.
I guess you could say I'm throwing it for her.
I
don't know if I'm throwing it for her.
You're instrumental.
Paying for it.
You're instrumental in the setting up of this lovely party.
Parties are expensive.
Yeah.
They add up, man.
I'm sure. Chris and I will be attending.
Yes, you will.
We are excited.
I'm curious, do you guys have outfits?
I do.
Because you got to go ham.
I do.
It's a 70s theme. It really matters to her.
No, I don't have it yet, but I'm going thrifting Thursday and Friday.
Go thrifting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not only do I have an outfit, I have options.
Whoa.
So it's funny. I actually initially bought something that I thought looked funny. And Hillary was like, all right, this is funny, but like you also want to look good.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, fine. So she then helped me pick some other options that are all kind of sick. So
did you say what the theme was yet?
70s
theme.
70s
So
theme.
I am very aware of what Francis means when he says you need to go for it, because we invited Francis very early on in our friendship and podcast tenure. We invited Francis to Hillary's Halloween party, which she previously before COVID had every year. And a lot of people get really dressed up for it. I didn't really. I kind of phoned it in. I like put cat ears on my head and like drew whiskers on my face. And Francis showed up as the Pink Panther in a full Pink Panther outfit, and his girl was Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah, that's right.
And they went all the way with it. And I know that when Francis is hosting the party, if I tried to pull the cat ears with whiskers thing, it would not go over well. Like, people would actually think that I was uncool.
You know, it's not that I would care, but given that she cares a lot, it matters more to me for her.
It's important to me to do what the thing is. If I'm agreeing to go to something, I'm going to do it.
Gotta play along.
Go for it. Play along, whatever. There's a chance, and maybe I know you too well by now, but there's a chance that if you hadn't come to Hillary's party dressed so well for the theme, which was Halloween, not that crazy of a theme, I may have not put so much time into my outfit for this party.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I tried so hard all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
All those years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Chris pulled it up. That's quite the pick, dude.
Yeah.
Some good, dude. That was a good time. It's an amazing. We went out, we drank a bunch. That was fun. Dude, I do remember this. So Hillary used to host that party with two of her friends. Chris is cracking up at this Pink Panther picture. Make sure you throw that in the YouTube, dude. They're going to love it. Yeah. But one of the people who hosted the party, literally as they were setting, like they had just gotten in their costumes and were like, okay, people are about to come over. They were in roller skates. Do you remember this? One of the three hosts immediately fell and broke her wrist and had to go to the hospital.
Broke it.
Broke her wrist.
Broke it like
Can
a
you imagine?
matchstick.
How terrible is that?
I'm trying to think of which holidays would be the worst ones upon which to break one's wrist.
One where you're hosting a gigantic party is definitely up there.
True, but I'd still rather break my wrist on Halloween than Christmas.
On actual Christmas.
You need both your arms to unwrap presents. And You don't need both hands to eat candy. You know what
So,
I'm saying?
okay, on Christmas Day, you
Yeah,
woke up to go down the stairs to get your presents, and you
That-
fell and broke your
That
wrist.
ruins Christmas.
That's pretty
You don't
bad.
want to be in the hospital on Christmas.
That's pretty bad.
Halloween, you're like, whatever.
So, but now, fast forward to right now. You're an adult.
Yeah.
You're throwing a Halloween party, a big Halloween party for all your friends versus Christmas morning. Do you still feel the same way?
Yeah, I think I'm a sort of a traditionalist, and I like Christmas so much that the sanctity of Christmas would be punctured far more than whatever frivolity I was enjoying were I to suffer a fracture during a party on Halloween of my own creation.
It's funny that we're both speaking as if we're reading poetry this entire episode.
Doesn't it feel good sometimes
It
to
does.
speak the Queen's English?
It does. I guess
Yeah.
it does. What do you typically do for Christmas? Do you just go to your parents' house?
We go to Maine.
Cool.
We go to Maine.
Very fun.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
If you and the hill dog were ever to tie the
T
knot,
the K.
how would you sort out who goes where for the holidays?
Well, it actually might not be that hard because she is not Christian,
What is she?
Jewish.
Did
I don't
I
know
kn-
why I said that as if like it's some kind of secret.
Did I not know that?
I don't know.
I thought I must have known that.
Yeah, so it actually potentially would work out perfectly.
So you guys could go to your place for Christmas.
So I think she still potentially, I might be speaking for her here, but I think she still likes to spend time with her family on the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, dude, like I think that until we have children,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be a big deal to spend holidays separately. Like,
Really?
kind of. Like, I like going to my family for Thanksgiving. She likes going to hers. Like, I don't see any reason to change that.
Interesting.
And the Christmas, the holidays, like maybe she'll come over Christmas Eve, but then like, or whatever the arrangement ends up being. But I don't think it would be a big deal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? Oh, I have a story for you. I can't believe I haven't told you this. Well, first of all, my grandfather passed away.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am.
It's okay. I appreciate it.
How old was he?
92.
Solid. Solid work.
That is a long, long life.
Yeah.
Anything over what? What do you think the age is that you reach where anything past that everyone's like, well, that's a long life? People don't
It
feel
should
as
be
bad.
85, but I feel like it's 81.
Well, what is the actuary tables say the life expectancy is like 72
Something.
or something?
But there's factors that aren't
well, that takes into account
a lot of
young
things.
deaths.
It's and other things too. It's like if they were to get more specific with that, it could potentially be higher.
Yeah.
It's 78 and a half as of
78.
2018.
Highest, and I don't know if I'm right about this still, but I believe what country? What's
I
your
wanted
guess?
to say Korea.
I was going to say Iceland. That might not be true anymore, but interesting guess.
Yeah.
Chris-
I'm not sure why I said Korea, but
gotta be
it has to do
Scandinavian
with
country.
diet. I think a lot of the Asian countries have
I know
really high
Japanese
life
have the most over 100. Most people
high
over
life
100.
expectancy.
It is a tie between 4 countries. Would you like to guess?
Iceland, Finland,
You going all Scandinavia?
Sweden, and Japan.
Do you want to guess or do you want me to just tell you?
I'm not going to be able to guess.
Japan, Switzerland, Singapore, and Spain.
Fuck, weird.
Wow.
84,
Crazy.
84.
2019.
Good for them.
Good for them.
So
Japan?
yeah, what is this, Japan?
Okay, sorry.
My grandfather passed away, and he was ailing, and he had we covered this.
I don't know if we did.
Well,
you and I did personally.
Okay, so he had found he had a tumor growing on his tongue. I don't mean to get graphic, but bear with me. And there was a major sort of decision among the family as to whether or not they should try to convince him not to have this big, difficult procedure to remove it. And if they didn't remove it, that would have been the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was starting to press up against his arteries and
Yeah.
it would have grown and whatever. But he was still conscious enough and lucid enough, certainly, to make the decision himself that he wanted to.
Do the procedure.
Yeah, and one of the reasons was having the procedure, in theory, would make him much more comfortable because it was becoming impossible for him to swallow. Breathing was really hard. And so he had the surgery. They removed his tongue. They used a piece of his pectoral muscle to recreate his tongue.
Wow.
Which, I mean, just medicine in and of itself, I find to be spectacularly interesting. And he came out of the hospital. He was doing better. All was well. And then within a few days, I think he had a mini stroke. And then it was very, very quick that he declined and then passed away in his sleep with my dad and my aunt and my grandmother around him.
It's very nice.
So
very nice.
Very gentle, peaceful, dignified passing. And I would say that over the last 5 to 7 years, he has had a number of health complications where each time we kind of thought this might be the end.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's the case, there are two things that happen. One, you sort of make your peace with it each time.
Mm-hmm.
And two, you start to think, well, when it does eventually happen, it's okay. It sucks to keep battling for your life when your body
I was just thinking
is giving up.
Such a bummer.
To go through these really painful, complicated procedures to keep yourself alive. And, so I think this was, as always is said, a blessing. People were not shaken. It was not a shock. Everyone was at peace with it. And now we get to remember him and kind of enjoy the life that he had. Just a couple quick words about him, which I've maybe said before. He went to Yale, was a track star. They used to run the 100-yard dash.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. I have a cool picture of him running the 100-yard dash in a Yale bib. Joined Skull and Bones.
Wow.
As has been so often depicted in movies, and went straight from there to the early years of the CIA.
Wow.
Which was the feeder.
He's literally the prototype of what they say happens.
In The Good Shepherd, yeah. Which is a phenomenal yet confusing movie. From there, he he was stationed in Indonesia. And this was, I think, in like the 1950s, right after World War I, where like the emergence of Russia and America as the global superpowers and kind of who would have a sphere of influence in different parts of the world was so important.
Rolling back communism.
Yeah. Right. And his cover was blown.
Crazy.
While he was over there. But that's where he met my grandmother, who was also in the CIA.
Get out of here.
And they moved back to New Jersey together, got married, and he started a small manufacturing plant. And that's his story.
Crazy story.
He's a great man. My grandfather, I loved him. I obviously sad, but he lived a great long life. I have no regrets on his behalf. So
it's great, man.
Yeah.
Very nice. It's funny, like people talk, like you said, the sort of age where people say, oh, he's had a good,
Mm-hmm.
And I hear a lot of people our age talking about how they're like, oh, they act as if once you hit a certain age, life doesn't matter anymore. And I wonder about that. Cause like I feel like those years 70 to 80, like you can have really solid, you can have a fucking normal ass life still.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to like Humphrey Bogart it.
Right.
And like go down too early smoking and doing all this shit. You know what I mean? Like I have a little bit of a thought of like, oh, I'm starting to get older. Like I would like to try to have some longevity.
I think that's a great point. And you can't always, no matter what you do, you can't always, I think you can help your odds, but I know for a fact that he was reading like a book a week.
Wow.
He had become very, very entrenched in the sort of family tree and figuring out distant cousins and lineages and who we were related to and all of this. his mind was sharp as a tack.
Mm.
And I think, your body can fail, but if your mind hangs on, there's so much joy to be had
Totally, dude.
in those later years.
Totally.
He went to his French table at the Yale Club every week, brought me a couple times, always had a good time there. He was funny, he was acerbic, and to the end, was very aware and very present and did not lose any ounce of strength in his brain, which, is a wonderful gift. So
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
But I have an amazing story about what was happening when I learned of his passing.
Please.
Okay. I went to Whole Foods, as I do, middle of the day this must have been Monday. And I get a ton of groceries, a lot of cases of beer and White Claw for the party. Yeah. And I have a huge full shopping cart. I get into line behind a woman who also has a full shopping cart and has just begun putting her items on the conveyor belt. And when I say that she is putting her items on the conveyor belt, I mean that's all she's doing. Okay? Now, when COVID began, the whole process for checking out of a grocery store changed. Grocery stores were understaffed. People did not want, they wanted to minimize the amount of touching of their groceries that was happening by strangers' hands. So we all had to start bagging our own groceries.
Right.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. And that's sort of carried on. Ever since COVID, I have always bagged my own groceries whenever I go to Whole Foods. And it's because they don't have a bagger at the end. They just have the person scanning the item. So I bag my own groceries.
Quick question. How long does it take you usually in and out of Whole Foods?
30 to 45 minutes.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
So I'm standing in line behind this woman and she's got earbuds in, but they're wired earbuds.
Mm.
And she's talking quietly on a phone call as she one by one puts her items on the conveyor belt. Now, the woman, the cashier, is scanning her items and very, very slowly placing them in a paper bag. Almost as if to say, I'm only doing this until you realize how slowly I'm doing this, at which point you'll say, I'll help. But the woman does not pick up on the hint. She has no interest in helping. She thinks she's doing her part simply by placing the items on the belt. So this is going so slowly that I cannot even believe what's happening. The whole process is so slow that it's almost cartoonish. I decide to do the most passive aggressive thing that I've done in the last 10 years. I walk in front of the woman to the end of the conveyor belt and I start bagging her groceries for her. I am placing the items that are coming to the end of the conveyor belt into paper bags for this woman. Keep in mind, I'm wearing a red t-shirt, jeans. I'm not wearing Whole Foods outfit. She would not mistake me for an employee. There's no way she could think, oh, here, finally, help has arrived. Now, the woman scanning the items thanks me. She goes, thank you. Thank you so much. I needed that. And I'm like, I got it. After I finish the first full bag, the woman with the headphones in says, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
Ugh.
And then I said, well, it goes a lot faster if I help. Hint, hint, we should be doing this. Instead, she goes, oh, okay. And goes back to her phone call.
Good for her, dude.
So now
That's crazy.
I say, fuck it. I don't care. And I start placing, I overload the bags. And I'm placing like milk jugs point down into the bottom of the bag to create ridge points, like breaking points, such that the second she goes to take the bags out of the cart and place them in the trunk of her car, they will explode. I'm sabotaging this whole process. As I'm doing this, I get a phone call from my mom who tells me that my grandfather has passed away. So I'm bagging groceries for this entitled bitch after learning that my beloved grandfather has finally passed away. And I'm starting to get emotional and angry. And my eyes well up with tears. The woman scanning the items sees me getting emotional, and she starts to cry.
That's crazy.
Now, there's a reason for this, which I'll get to in a second. But we're both kind of like feeding off of each other's tears. You know how sometimes if you see someone throw up, you might start to throw up yourself? It was like that with crying. I think this happens often. And we're both having kind of an emotional thing. The woman with the headphones, totally oblivious, living in her own world of entitlement, continuing to yap, yap, yap quietly on her phone call. And finally, I finish the bagging. I place all the bags in the cart carefully. She pays. She thanks me. She leaves. I get back in line now with my things, and I start loading them on the conveyor belt. And I let the woman know that the reason I'm upset is because my grandfather has passed away. And she was like, I could sense something was wrong like that, yada, yada. And she goes, the reason I'm crying is I'm 8.5 months pregnant. And I couldn't really tell because she's wearing like an apron or something. And she's like, I'm on my feet all day. That's why it meant so much to me that you were helping me. And I was like, oh my God, my pleasure. And so the two of us really bonded over how much we hated this woman. And
this has become a trend in your life.
Had this emotional connection that was very deep in the line at the Whole Foods. And as a way of thanks, and I hope it's okay, I didn't say her name. She scans all my items. She skipped scanning 2 of the cases of beer.
They're huge.
Which is like $40.
Big for the boys.
Yeah. Gave me 2 cases of beer for free. She was like, I didn't scan 2 of those. So thank you. And I was like, wow, thank you so much.
How are you going to try to act like this isn't almost the identical story of the hotel?
It's close.
You fraternizing with the workers ending in you getting free alcohol.
I guess you're right.
It's become a formula, dude.
I know, but I'm not playing for it. This all came because I was mad and wanted to be passive aggressive towards this woman to send her a message.
You got involved 2 times when you didn't need to.
Yeah, but the hotel, I wanted to help to flex my French muscles.
Right. So, but you had, there was like an agenda, but like a loose one on both.
I would say in both cases, it was not magnanimity, but rather self-serving indulgence.
And in both situations, it was Francis and the people of the establishment versus the bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. But if I walk out of there
2.
patting myself on the back and saying, you know, boy, you really rolled up your sleeves and jumped down to the working class and ate your bread sandwich and had a day, good for you, then it defeats the purpose. So I don't feel that way.
I never said that that's what you're doing.
I know, but I sometimes I've had that thought. I think that the more that you kind of self-congratulate, the more you undo the good you've done.
For sure. But like you said, in both of those situations, there were things to gain. In the French situation, it was a little less clear.
Yeah. But
you were kind of just helping. Ultimately, you were just helping out.
Yeah.
And then it turned into you realizing the lady was a lunatic.
I always I think, you know, you can be selfish in doing good deeds, even despite what I just said. And the problem is that if you're doing it with the hope that there's a payoff and then you don't get the payoff, and I've said this before, then you're disappointed and you feel like, what was the point of the good deed? Whereas if you do the good deed for the sake of the good deed, somehow it's as if the universe knows and gives you the payoff. The penitent man shall pass. I always think of that scene in Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Where he steps out over the ledge, and because he feels like he's undeserving of the Holy Grail, the steps emerge and he walks across safely.
You love it.
Yeah.
Dude, what a profound moment.
Yeah. Lots of total roller coaster of emotions.
Pretty crazy.
In line at the Whole Foods.
Dude, I mean, that sounds like a pretty stressful situation.
Sure was.
And, you know, if you're feeling stressed out, there's a couple of different ways you can deal with it. One way that we recommend, trying out some dad grass.
Dad grass. Wish I'd had some in that line. I would have blown a big big fat cloud right in that lady's face.
What a fun name, dude. Like it very clearly sort of conveys. I have a friend in LA who loves to talk about when he used to do drugs. And this sort of like sums that up. This would be good for him.
Okay.
He starts smoking CBD now. You know what I mean?
Good.
And it's just kind of like a more timid feeling that isn't being high.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know what I
it's
mean?
more. Chris is a huge. Are you a fan? Is that okay to say, Chris?
Yeah, I like it. Yes, I like mixing it too, and it's good. Very
a little
good.
gentler.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little gentler, and it's a nice way to sort of stay connected to your youth.
But if
I
you do
guess.
like the practice of actually smoking a joint, this tastes very similar.
Yeah.
Tastes similar, sensation similar. You're gonna get all those fun
The
benefits
rituals.
of that. Exactly the routine.
Totally. And chill out without getting stoned.
Mhm.
It's like having a glass of wine, but not having the whole bottle.
There you go.
I like that one. That's a
Nice.
good comparison. But Dadgrass 100% organic pre-roll joints are very low in THC and very high in CBD, so you can enjoy the effects of CBD while keeping a clear head. All Dadgrass products are federally legal for ages 21 and over, and it ships right to your door anywhere in the U.S. Right now, Dadgrass is offering our listeners 20% off of your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/oops. That's 20% off your entire first order. Make a big one so you can cash in on that pretty substantial discount.
That's a big one. That's a chunk.
Dadgrass.com/oops. Check it out.
Nice.
Francis, something funny happened the other night that I don't know if you remember, but I was going to meet up with Francis. He had a show at the Stand, and I wasn't doing anything, so I was like, I'll go by the Stand. And I threw on a T-shirt, and it's that Jackson Hole T-shirt that I always wear, that we always
the
wear.
hole.
We both have one.
We love that hole.
We love that hole. Great shirt. And I realized, I'm like, you know what? I feel like Francis has really come to love this shirt too. I should double check to make sure he's not wearing it because I know he's already at the show. So I text him. I'm like, dude, are you wearing the Jackson Hole shirt? And he goes in capital letters, dude, yes. I literally changed out of it and put on a different T-shirt.
Yeah.
Dude, how funny is that?
Maybe
now?
for our first live show, we should both wear it.
Dude, that is hilarious. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
So fun.
Dude, hilarious. So we have a couple of
Bring out the emails.
interesting email topics
Show me the money.
that I thought you might be interested in. So here we go.
Cool. Some guy let me know that he's a bartender and he wears a name tag, and whenever people say his name on the name tag, he really likes it and
I
appreciates
think
it.
you showed us that.
Yeah.
That was very,
So
was
that
very cool.
clears up that whole mystery.
Dude, well, not to blow your, not to burst your bubble,
Okay.
but somebody else also messaged us being like, I fucking hate when people read my
Well,
name
there you
tag.
go. Okay, the jury's still out. That is a split jury.
Before
right
you
there.
got too happy over there, I just
Damn
wanted to
it.
make sure. It's also funny too how we like base these things on specific pieces of feedback.
Yeah, I know.
Which you always are like, be careful about doing that.
Well, it sounds like we definitely know how to feel about peeing too much in a cup. I feel like that one's pretty definitive.
That one felt fair.
Yeah, someone said
No one else is going to be like, oh, I love it when they fill it
That's
up all
true.
the way.
someone said they don't like it, right? Did you tell
So
that
yeah,
on the pod?
someone said that they think that the people who fill the pee cup all the way to the top are like psychopaths.
Okay.
Hilarious.
That's good. That's good to know.
Okay, so this one's kind of long, but I feel like it's a good one to dissect on the pod. So here we go. Little scenario I've been wrapped up in recently that I'd be interested in getting your take on. I was out at a concert a little while back with a buddy of mine. After the show, he wanted us to go hit up this bar because he knew a girl he was talking to was going to be there. Like the reliable wingman I am, I went along. Fortunately for me, the girl ended up having a friend with her. We were at the bar for a bit. I guess each pair hit things off because the four of us all decided to head back to the one girl's apartment to continue the night. We all chilled there for a bit. Eventually, my friend and his girl went off and did their thing, leaving myself and this new girl alone. We were having a good time, ended up making out and dancing in the kitchen.
Whoa, that's romantic.
Yeah, pretty good. But when I tried to turn up the heat a bit more, things were met with some hesitancy on her end, which is fine because in fairness, we had just met. I obviously didn't want to overstep any boundaries, so I just left it at that and didn't think too much of it. I still felt like this was a pretty fun night and I had fairly recently got out of a longer term relationship at the time. Next day, I told a friend what had happened, and it turns out they were familiar with the girl I was with the night before. So much so that they were aware that she was currently in a committed relationship. Like, each of their most recent Instagram posts were with her boyfriend. Yikes. I felt bad and almost wanted to reach out to her to apologize, which, side note, why would you apologize
That doesn't
to her?
make any sense.
You had no
What are you,
fucking idea,
God?
dude. Yeah, literally. But I kind of backtracked on that idea because she never mentioned anything throughout the night about having a boyfriend. I don't know. Seems more like something that's her responsibility to bring up. Yeah.
Hundo P.
Hundy P, dude.
Yeah.
But I guess that's another topic. In hindsight, this may explain some of her hesitancy to really escalate things, yada, yada. Haven't communicated with her since that night. But fast forward a few weeks, and I am now approaching my third date with a different girl. Things are going well. However, unbeknownst to me until recently, it turns out that, of course, this new girl is actually one of the cheating girl's best friends.
Oh.
So my questions to you are, is this something I should bring up to this new girl that I am now going on dates with in order to get out in front of this? How would I even bring something like that up? Might this girl I'm quote dating actually already know this happened and this
Wow.
scenario is just something that I'm overthinking / doesn't matter?
Wow.
I'm going to read them all and then we can go at them. What do I do if I am eventually in a scenario where I am meeting this girl's friends for the quote first time? Or do I not worry about this anymore because there's probably zero chance that the cheating girl will ever reveal to anyone that this happened while she was in a relationship? Interested in your thoughts.
Wow. Wow.
A lot of good stuff in
This
that one.
is some sticky toffee pudding.
Yeah, this is good.
We are looking into a bowl of sticky toffee pudding right here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. There is so much nuance to this.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
There
stuff.
is so much nuance. All right, why don't you fire away? Let's
Okay.
sort of break this off into pieces if we can.
Okay, so my first thought, of course, when all is said and done, I think that the move is to say nothing.
Yes.
I think.
I agree.
And there's so many different situations where this could kind of get weird, but I still think ultimately saying nothing is the move because if she never had a boyfriend, you probably just wouldn't say anything anyway, or the other girl would know about it, which would then make it a deal breaker potentially. But in this situation, let's assume that nobody knows about it because it's a secret.
Mm.
So that kind of takes that scenario off the table, which works for him unless she somehow finds out about that, which she probably never will.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like a lot of the time a girl won't want to hook up with somebody or date somebody who has already been with one of their friends. But in this situation, there's nowhere for that to come out.
Okay.
You know?
But even okay, this is where I could see it being an issue, right? First of all, I think there's kind of like a middle ground. I think that the problem would be if he gets serious with this new girl and they're hanging out one time and they go to some event and the cheating girl is there and somehow he and the cheating girl have to pretend like they've never met each other before.
Right. Well,
Because
dude, that's
then-
gonna happen.
Right. So what I think he should do is somehow find a way to make it known that he's met her, but not say that they hooked up. Like, yeah, I met her one night. He can tell the truth
Oh, that's interesting.
all the way
That's
to the
a
1
really,
yard line.
Really, really, really good point.
I think he can tell the truth all the way to the 1
hey.
yard line. Like, yeah, we met each other, we hung out. Oh no, and you could even say like our two friends hooked up. We were hanging in the kitchen. None of that's a lie.
None of it's a lie, and you can actually tell the entire story while she's standing right there without obviously including the makeout part to show that you're an ally.
Yeah.
You set the tone there.
You could do that, but you might make her very nervous if you're telling the story of that evening.
You don't have to get into
and
detail.
She's right there.
Be like, oh, we met because so and so is dating your friend, and we went to that concert.
Yeah. If
or
somehow
whatever.
this girl is open with her friends about her infidelity, and it does get back to the new girl, I really don't think that girl should be that mad that this guy made out with her, because that's all it was. Like, that's not a deal breaker.
Totally.
And two, he then has the total right to make it clear, like, I had no idea she was in a relationship when that happened.
So absolutely. And the other problem that you might run into in this situation, which I don't see for him, is like, why wouldn't you tell me about that? And the reason is obvious. I don't want to rat out your friend, your cheating friend. I don't want to get in the middle of this. It's none of my business.
But then you run into this problem where somehow she will then assume, or this could happen, where she assumes that by not saying anything, you're kind of like aiding the cheating.
That's bullshit, though.
But that happens.
That could happen, but like, dude, if that happens, then you need to find another girl.
fine, but it's something about, did he do the right thing? What is the right thing for him to do?
He got ambushed, dude. It was a booby trap. He had no idea the girl had a boyfriend. He was a single guy having a great time. He proceeded precisely as he should.
Yeah, but if you're the new girl, in your mind, what is the right thing for him to have done? You think she's going to have the perspective that he played it correctly? Or is
So,
she going
the
to think
entire
that she
situation?
deserved to know, or that he should have gone so far as to like tell that girl off, or even notify the boyfriend?
I think she should understand him pleading the fifth. I think it's his only play. And I think that she should know that. And there's like, why show up and start a riff in this new group where you're trying to just enjoy time with this new girl you like?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
how is there another right way to handle that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Yeah,
But it's tricky.
It is a tricky thing. The only other option would be for him to tell the new girl in confidence, just so you know, like, I know that girl. One night we hung out, we met out, wasn't a big deal. I had no idea she had a boyfriend, and just get out in front of the whole thing. Unless he thinks that would come down to him knowing the new girl. Does he know her well enough to know how she's going to react? Is she going to go scorched earth
It doesn't sound like it.
and come down on her friend? Or is she going to be like, oh, okay, whatever. Thanks for letting me know, I guess.
Right. It sounds like.
What would you do? What would you do in that situation?
I wouldn't say shit. Ever. I'll say, okay. If she ends up breaking up with the guy, then I would tell her. If she doesn't, I'm not getting involved with that shit, dude.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with me. This is not my fault. The situation is not my fault. You guys figure out your shit. I'm just met this girl I really like, and I'm going to have a great time, have fun, doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah, he's effectively already moved on from the whole thing with his
Totally.
life.
Totally. And they made out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
It would be different if they were dating or something. Then you have to tell.
sure. Sure.
So, I don't know.
Okay.
But dude, so this is the other thing. Like, think about how much, that situation could have ended up going way worse for him. You know what I mean? Like, he could have taken her home. They could have had sex. As she was about to walk out the door, she could have noticed Brooklyn Roasting Company coffee on the counter
God.
and hopped right back in bed with him.
You're
doing
right.
it again.
She sticks around because she's like, this guy knows coffee. He's got incredible taste. I didn't expect these kinds of beans.
This guy is sophisticated.
Oh, man.
Look at the beans.
Now I can't leave. Now we're not even just talking about a sticky toffee pudding. We're talking about the stickiest of the icky toffee pudding.
That gooey glop.
Oh, my God. Well said, Julie. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Brooklyn Roasted. Our
We
favorite.
love the Brooklyn Roasting. Every morning, I think this girl Tinks. Have you seen this girl Tinks on Instagram?
Maybe.
It's me, Tinks. She's great. She's funny. She was saying that like she now looks forward to going to bed so much because she likes her coffee in the morning so much. And I've been feeling the same way ever since Brooklyn Roasting came into my life. This mocha java, I'm just going in through tin after tin of it. I'm having my iced oat milk latte, double shot drink in the morning.
Hell yeah.
Reading my book.
Hell yeah.
Love it. That's the best way to start the day. Go to brooklynroasting.com, promo code OOPSBEANS, get some of the coffee peanut butter, get some of that mocha java. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your coffee. Trust us, we do not lead you astray.
Dude, I love it. I love it. So, dude, as far as first dating stuff go, early dates, right? We get a lot of messages about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We got an interesting one about bill splitting with an interesting perspective.
Okay.
That I know we had said that we wanted to read. So I'm going to get in here and see what you guys think. So, hey guys, day one listener to the pod and want to hear your thoughts about bill splitting etiquette for the first couple of dates. So this seems like, before we continue, this seems like it's obvious where this is going to go, but it's not. So bear with us here. I know you guys have previously talked about splitting bills with your long-term significant others, but what do you think is normal / expected for first and second dates? For context, I'm a 23-year-old woman new to the dating scene. I've been on a couple first dates and always offer to split the bill. However, so far the guys tend to insist on paying, and I'm never sure how far to push on at least splitting the bill. For example, the last guy I went on a date with paid for our first date, beer and fries, and second date, nicer tapas-style dinner, again, despite my multiple offerings to split. Instantly after the second date, I knew I had little interest in seeing him again because we simply weren't a match. However, I can't shake the feeling of guilt and extra pressure to see him again so that I can pick up the tab, feel less indebted, and prove I wasn't just using him for free drinks and food. Francis is shaking his head. There's definitely the good stuff here. So let me finish and then we'll get into it.
All right.
He hasn't said anything to make me feel guilty about this, but I can't help but wonder what guys are truly thinking in these situations. Do guys ever feel resentful over the fact that there is societal pressure for them to pick up the bill? How strong even is that societal pressure nowadays? Am I not making my offer to split the bill clear or seem genuine enough? I'm finding it hard to navigate the proper etiquette in these situations and would love to hear your guys' perspective on all of this. Francis, what do you got?
No, she's done nothing wrong, and she does not owe him anything. And in fact, going on a third date to somehow like pay him back is the worst thing that she could do.
Mm-hmm.
Because all you're doing at that point is reinforcing in his mind that this is going well.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go on any more dates.
Mm-hmm.
You're saving him by cutting it off then. I understand that things are changing. We're moving away from sort of the traditional archetype of the man paying. My mindset is that if the man really wants to pay or insists on paying, early dates, great. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with abiding by custom. I certainly don't think that it means you owe him anything. And then if you get to the point where you're going on lots of dates consistently, you're getting serious, you're dating, you can have a conversation where you work out like, yo, just so you know, like, I like you. I want to keep dating you. I want to see you a lot. I can afford to pay my weight. Why don't you let me like split it with you or whatever and see how he reacts to that.
Mm-hmm. So, dude, agreed. And I think that as far as the first couple of dates go, I understand where she's coming from. That's a very nice thought. You know what I mean? It's true. Cause like, and dude, we happen to here on Oops Podcast both be gentlemen. I know, I'm going to go as far as to say that.
Yeah. No scoundrels in sight.
I would happily take somebody on a date or two, pay, not expect anything, and never be like, well, I dropped 200 on, but dude, there are guys like that. There are guys like that out there
who think that the woman owes them sex.
Not necessarily, but they'll complain about the idea that they have paid and that poor me, I paid all this money. It's great while it's going great. When things don't work out the way they wanted to, they become a little brat and start, whether it's not even to them, bitching about it, or like that thought exists. So I understand why she feels that way. And in a way, it's like not fair because you're being forced to accept this dinner that is paid for, and then also having the knowledge that you may be subjecting yourself to some unfair negative feelings from the person who's forcing you to accept this free meal.
Is there a number of dates that you would go on where you're paying, where nothing's happening, where at some point you would say, the fact that she's continuing to agree to see me, but this doesn't feel like we're getting closer. We're not like hooking up. We're not talking about what's going on here, where you might start to feel taken advantage of?
So it would be unusual for it to get to that many dates. Like I can't.
What is that number though?
For me, if we went on 2 dates, if we went on 3 dates and we didn't even kiss, that would probably be my threshold. Not as far as like, you know what, you're not putting out, fuck you. It's not like that at all. It's just like, oh, you're not attracted to me, or oh, this isn't going to be physical.
Right.
Nice. It's been fun. Let's be friends.
I'm not
or
trying
whatever.
to go out and pay for dinners with a friend of mine.
And that thought wouldn't even be the thought. The thought would be, oh, this isn't going to be a romantic thing. And I wouldn't ask her on another date.
I'm not going on dates with you anymore.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah. And you know, listen, it's like you go on a date hoping that something can happen. For me, I am more than happy to pick it up if it's an early date. Like it's part of the fun. You know what I mean? Let me treat you to a night out, a little chivalry. If you're not into that, that's fine too. Like if you feel really offended by the idea of me paying, sure, you can pay too.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? I don't feel that strongly about it. But I understand where she's coming from and I know why she feels that way. And listen, at the end of the day, like, what do you want? Like dating is about you. A relationship is about two people, but when you're dating, it's about you. You have to go get what you want to get. You're trying to find a partner that you like. If it takes you 2 dates, he insists on paying, that's his fault. Doesn't mean you have to go marry him.
Spot on.
Do what you got to do for yourself. And then once it becomes a group discussion when you're with somebody, it changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed. Yeah.
That's fair, right?
That's my take too. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. You know, one thing we've never talked about on this podcast, somebody brought this to my attention recently, but we've never talked about meeting the parents. We've never talked about that.
Really?
We've talked about our feelings about parents and our parents of our significant others and people we've dated, but I don't know that we've ever actually talked about the initial meeting of the parents.
Interesting.
And I wonder if you have any thoughts about that.
Well, the first time I met my girlfriend's entire family, I had just been fired from Barstool an hour before.
Oh my God.
And I walked into the house.
I didn't know this.
Shaking.
Oh my God, dude.
I got fired on the train down to see them. I was taking the New Jersey Transit down to Trenton.
Okay.
To then take an Uber to their place in Pennsylvania. And on the train, Portnoy called me and fired me.
Crazy.
And then I had all the news outlets reaching out as I was taking the Uber from the train station to her house for comments saying, we're writing the article. We need your comment now. Either you're going to weigh in or you're not. So I had to draft my comment while I was in this Uber getting car sick because it was all back roads.
Bro, this is like Lenin riding the train to St. Petersburg.
I draft the comment. I draft the comment. I send it to my agent. He's like, okay, they sends it to the PR team. They're like, this is great. And then I walk.
What PR team? Oh, for your manager?
At William Morris.
Okay.
Because they have like a crisis management sort of
division
people. Yeah. And then I walked in the front door and hugged everybody.
Crazy.
And they were super fucking cool about it.
About you being fired?
Yeah, I had to tell the whole story. Obviously, it's not a great story. And they were really comforting.
That's really nice.
They were really embracing of it, of me. And, you know, I mean, and then we were there for like 3-4 days. I didn't eat for the first 2 days. Couldn't eat. I've said that before.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were cooking great food. It was such a bummer. But I would have to like go up to the bedroom to take like phone calls, which were all about the, you know, people calling me to like let me know my life wasn't over and all this shit. It was crazy. Anyway, so they were really cool and I'll never forget meeting them for the first time. I know that's a very different answer than what you were.
No, that's great. This is good, dude. This is great. This is good stuff.
What happened the first time you met Hillary's parents?
So it's funny. I have a good story about meeting the parents in general that I will share. Because meeting Hillary's parents, well, I guess I'll tell that one first. I mean, it wasn't that, they were in town. Her sister used to work for Marriott, and specifically for like the Edition hotels. And so they were staying at one of those. And we met at the bar and then we were gonna go to dinner at the restaurant. And I ordered a drink off the menu and pure, like true to form, a fucking the girliest drink you've ever seen in your life comes out. Cause dude, on the description, they don't tell you the glass, which I've said to you guys before. So I'm like, ooh, that looks good. And then all of a sudden this fucking, you know, in a little V-shaped glass that you hold between your fingers shows up. And I'm just like, dude, which was fine, but like that sticks out. And her parents are like they have really good social skills. They're really easy to be around. Like it was completely chill and fine.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But in high school, I was my first girlfriend. The first time we hung out, just me and her, we'd hung out a couple of times, but I had never met her parents. She lied to her parents and told them that she was going somewhere else, but she was really going with this guy who was from another high school. So she didn't want to tell them because they wouldn't have let her go. So I came and picked her up. Apparently, she had told her parents who I was or whatever. Her dad caught a glimpse of me as I sort of made off with her when she walked out. He caught a glimpse of me.
Someone's made off with my daughter.
I believe that is how it happened. I don't think that we said hello to each other.
Ooh, rough start, huh?
No, it's fine. Like it wasn't like that. He caught a glimpse of me. Anyway, the next day, she walks out of her room, and on the front cover of the sports section of the Middletown Press, there's a giant picture of me because I had done some tennis
star
thing.
Legend.
And he just pushes it across the table and was like, "You weren't with that guy last night?"
Oh,
That's how she got busted, dude. From my local tennis success. And she got grounded.
And the article was like, 16-year-old heartthrob tennis star, top of his class stud Giulio Gallerati serves up the charm to opponents all across the division.
Serves up the charm. I think I must have won the conference again. I think it was like something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of why I would have
Yeah,
been.
you did.
I did something. I went out with a bang at the end of high school, my high school tennis career.
Were you all state, all county, any of that
All
stuff?
state, yep.
Wow. First team all state
Mhm.
in Connecticut?
Yep.
What division?
It was all there was like 2 people from each division who got it. So there's like 8 people, I think.
Wow.
For singles.
So you were one of the top 8 players.
Yeah, I
in
got to the state final.
Did you lose in the final?
Yeah. And it was to a guy I'd never won a set off of. I won the first set and then I lost the next 2. But it was a good match and it was
No regrets, huh?
No, not at all. It
No
was
regrets.
like my dream to get all state. And I didn't get it freshman through junior year, so I was like super nervous.
Yeah.
Got it done, whatever. But anyway,
It's pretty sick.
that was a funny fucking
Yeah. Well, isn't it funny that in high school you meet the parents often on the first date?
I know.
Because you're just going
That's
to
so
her
true.
house
That's such a good point.
every time.
That's such a good point.
I
That's
met
crazy.
all my girlfriend's parents,
That's so funny.
no matter how short we dated for.
Yeah, it's immediately.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Whereas
crazy.
now it's a big deal.
Have your parents met your girl's parents yet?
No.
Same with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Like, yes, but also not. It's not surprising.
COVID fucked it.
COVID did, but also like they live in different places.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right.
But I'm not opposed to the idea of
Are
it.
you worried at all?
No. I hope that our dads would play golf. They're both very good golfers.
Yeah.
And I think they would have some fun. You're welcome to join.
Yeah, I'd like to play golf with your dad and Hillary's dad and you.
That would be fun.
That'd be fun because
That
I
is
would
fun.
have no skin in the match.
You would just be going completely rogue.
I could just say the most uncomfortable things.
Francis just like gets mustard on his shirt in between the front and back 9 eating a hot dog. Oh, fuck. Francis, chill, dude. God damn it.
I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I'd side with Hillary's dad on some things, and then I would side with your dad on some things. I might try to foment a little bit of tension.
That's funny.
Might foment.
That's hilarious.
Press some buttons.
I mean, well, my dad can fucking apparently get into
Be
it
a
on
little
the course.
shit stir. Yeah, exactly.
Dude, so it's funny because I get the impression that her dad is used to sort of like a cordial 5-hour golf outing with people he sort of knows.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have some experience of that too. I don't know how much my dad does. I know he's in a golf league now but I imagine it's some version of all the same people. So I wonder how he would do with us for 18 holes. How long it would take him to say something like classic professor talk, aloof, I don't know.
Oh,
I think you'd do fine.
I'd love to play golf with your dad. That'd be really
That would
fun.
be fun.
The only reason I might raise an eyebrow at your dad playing golf is if he showed up wearing bird dogs. The shorts, not the pants.
We got to get him a pair.
We got to get him a pair of the pants. We also got to get him some shorts. My dad wears the pants.
Really?
My dad wears both pants and shorts, and keeps asking me yo, can you get me some free pairs of bird dogs? And I'm like, I can, but I'd appreciate it if you used our promo code to buy them. You
Yeah,
can,
my
one,
dad would like them
afford
too.
it, and two, it helps us.
Dude, my dad loves a good surprise item like that.
Yeah.
He would really appreciate it. He'd be like, oh, the silk lining. Like, dude, we could just literally call him and have him describe his experience with
As
them.
a read.
And it would be a perfect read.
Oh, man.
I'm wearing them right now. I'm
Yeah.
wearing them right now.
I am wearing these are bird dogs pants that I'm wearing right now. I love bird dogs. We love bird dogs.
Dude, update. So somebody showed me their bird dogs order, and I asked them, I was like, what did you get? And he goes, dude, it looks like I'm getting a Vortex football.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's sick.
That is
That's
sick.
sick. I
With
was
the
like,
whistle.
Oh yeah, that was yours. Your
Mine was better.
impression
Mine was better than yours. You thought you were going to
better.
join, and then you heard me doing it. You're like, I should never have.
That's exactly what happened. You saw it. You saw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, use promo code OOPS and you're gonna get something pretty fucking cool. Hopefully it's still a Vortex football, Francis.
Yeah, that's it.
Do it.
If it's not, we don't know. Oh, the
I
sound.
wanted the sound.
Yeah. That's it.
Bombed that thing 200 yards.
Hell yeah.
That's so funny.
It's also the same sound that is made in Dumb and Dumber when Lloyd is telling Harry, he goes, I drove a girl to the airport, sparks flew, emotions ran high. She actually talked to me, man. Get out of here. Yeah, tractor beam, suck me right in.
How quotable is that movie,
It's the
dude?
best.
That
The
movie's so
best.
fucking good.
Yeah, cool. Any other emails?
I think we could do one more before we take it out of here.
Cool. Bring us home. Yeah.
Because this one is titled Urgent. So I wanted to help. I thought we could help this guy out.
Okay.
College student crushing on my neighbor.
Wow.
What's up, guys? Huge fan of the pod here. Love your content. Truly
Okay,
brings a
good.
smile to my face every Tuesday and Thursday.
Need that. Good.
Need it.
Yeah, needed it.
For context, I'm an upperclassman living off campus. I'm crushing hard on one of the girls that lives in the house right in front of mine. She's really cute, has a great smile, and actually makes me laugh. I've hung out with her and her roommates a couple times, but never just us two. I've been trying to meet her out at the bars recently to gauge our chemistry, but she had to quarantine last weekend, and I'm away visiting a friend starting Thursday, and I won't be back until Sunday night. When I get back, I'm thinking of going over to their place to catch up and talk about our weekends. I was going to ask for her Snapchat there, but that is about as far out as I've planned so far. She's on a club sports team, so I was thinking of going to one of her games, then getting Chipotle after. I was also thinking of convincing one of our mutual friends to host a party this weekend and seeing her there. Francis is like confused, but dude, don't forget college. This is college. This is like,
Yes. That's why I'm confused.
should I take her on a date, then try to meet her out on the weekend, or just skip the date and hope to see her out? I guess I'm just wondering how to approach the situation.
This dude has put together way too many plans in his head.
But he's surveying the possibilities of how to make it happen. Just take it to the
Okay.
next step.
Unfortunately, the only non-weird way in college to make things happen is to like run into each other out.
Totally. That's a good point. Going for the so this is the question that I had in my head too. Is this girl out of your league or not? If it's a girl who you feel like is way out of your league, maybe asking her on the date is the only way to like make it. That's the
Yeah.
only situation where I think asking her out on a date is like your Hail Mary.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Might as well.
Otherwise, I agree with Francis. You gotta sort of like hang out in a group setting. That's the beauty of college. Like you sort of consummate your love with somebody in the group setting before you hang out one-on-one.
Totally.
Whereas as an adult, it starts to shift. And it's so much more fun that way.
It is.
You go to a party and you fucking hook up at the party. Like that's so fun.
It is. It's frustrating too, though, because if you do like somebody and you know that you like them, leaving it up into this weird herd chance encounter. Oh, look, hey, what's up? Playing it cool. Like that's harder to pull off.
Yeah.
Um,
And I kind of feel like going to the game is maybe not something you want to do before you've hooked up with her, to be honest. It seems like a little,
I agree with that.
it seems like a little bit of a like, you're going to get friend zoned really fast. move.
Yeah, who goes to an intramural, field hockey game?
You go there. Yeah. You got to go there. You got to roll out of bed with her. You know, the goal would be to roll out of bed and then go to the game with her.
And also to put up a stink about it. Be like, you really need me to come? All right, fine.
My recommendation is, of course, go to the game, go support her. Awesome. But after you've made something happen or until it's clear that nothing is ever going to happen.
Yes, that's right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't do that. I think he's onto something with the party. And maybe, I don't know if asking for a number is like overkill these days, but I think that you could do that. If you ask for the number, that's like a bold move without being like, should we go on a date?
Dude, he's asking for her Snap.
I think that you got to ask for the number.
Snap is weird.
Am I just completely out of touch?
I think we're out of touch.
How you now just communicate with people directly in college?
I guess that's it. Chris, want to weigh in? You're younger.
Like, yeah, but I don't know if it's phased out enough yet, but asking for a number would probably be better.
I still think asking
more
for the number is
sincere.
Old school.
You're not.
And it's okay to commit to it. It's okay to be like, I want your number.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, you're taking the bull by the horns there.
In fact, don't even say that. Say, let me get your number.
Let me get your number's good.
Yeah.
Let me get your number's
Demand
good.
it.
Demand the number.
Yeah. Take charge.
She's not going to say no. And then you just text her and she'll have your number. What?
I don't even remember where this was. It was like a week ago or something. No, it was actually longer than that, but I didn't tell you this. So I was drinking with some friends, and my girlfriend and some of our other girlfriends showed up for dinner to join us all for dinner. She was wearing a dress. I got up from the table to greet her, and I sort of grabbed her by the dress and pulled her in and gave her a big hug. Later, she told me how much she liked that.
Oh.
She was like, I like that when you grab me by the dress. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the new me. The truth was, I was so drunk that I was just leaning on her for stability. I was seeing double of her trying to like shake it into one person.
Kind of pin her down.
I was holding on to her like a sail on a boat, like, whoa. And but I'll never let her know, you know.
That's great.
Yeah.
You never know, dude. You just never know. Hilarious.
Yeah. That's it. That's Oops the Podcast.
What do you got?
We had a lot of fun today. We appreciate you guys so much. We've got a live show that is percolating.
Sure is.
It is on the simmer. And stay tuned for that. We are also, I'll be on the road October, I think 20th and 21st or 19th and 20th up in Albany, New York, as then also Hartford, New York. I've got Richmond, Virginia coming up.
When?
That's going to be the end of October, like the 28th to the 30th.
I'm going to be down there.
Are you?
For a wedding.
What, that weekend?
No, the beginning of the month. But that would have been fun.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Tickets all available at francisellis.com. Julio, anything fun?
Yeah, I have a cool show that's coming up. I'm apparently not supposed to announce it. So if you guys listen to all our episodes, you will have heard about it already. But I'm doing a cool sort of like comedy show screening event thing coming up in a month or two. That's going to be really cool. And I will let you know more about that soon.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Send us your emails. We love you, and we will see you soon.